If there are things that make you more money, and if there are things that fire you up, those are the things that you should slowly over the next 90 to 180 days strategically remove yourself from. And that's how you, one, maximize your returns, and two, avoid burnout.
How do you find the will to fight back against a world that wants to keep you sedated, average, and stuck in place? Join us for the tools and strategies you need to create a life of abundance, discipline, and high achievement. This is the Tactical Empire with Jeff Smith.
Welcome to another episode of the Tactical Empire. I am joined by none other than the Sean Ryder. Again, what's up, brother? How are you?
Hey, I'm just a dad that's dealing with kids going back to school, so they have all that pent up energy after school that we have to unwind over 4 to 6 hours before bedtime. So,
sorry, dude.
I know you can't relate. You're living the homeschool life. So, but I feel like we're doing the next best thing, which is private school life. I mean, they get out of school by 3. So, they're going in at 8, getting out by 3. I like the curriculum. They get to go to church a couple days a week. So
there we go.
I'm cool with it. But, this summer without the school, it was a test on the schedule, but my days have become longer, which is nice. But kids' activities, I don't dare to say sports schedule this early in their life. Kids' activities have started back up as well. So we do have 1 night of gymnastics, 2 nights of soccer, and 1 night of t-ball. And you are looking at the newest t-ball coach at the local business league, because when they send out an email saying they are 2 coaches short, and it's your son's team that doesn't have a coach, you do what a man does, and you put on your coaching shirt and become daddy coach.
That's how I got roped into coaching flag football with 6-year-olds as well, which was a lot.
Yes.
So I can relate.
It's going to be a lot. So in my mind, I'm thinking last t-ball season, there were assistant coaches. So the fact that there was an email saying there wasn't enough head coaches, it's like, oh, I'm not only just coaching, I'm the only coach on the team. So it's going to be like extra fun. I love it though. I'm
Absolutely.
Excited. My son's excited that I'm the coach. Last season, I genuinely asked him, I said, do you want daddy to coach? No. Okay. But this year, we like to rope our kids into as many decisions as possible when it's feasible. And I was like, do you want daddy to coach your team? Yeah. Okay. You got me. I'm coaching your team. Now you got to be my little helper and leader. So don't go out there and show all the kids how not to act.
Right on, brother. I love it.
All about having fun at this age. But hey, we are on, a little mini series, maybe if we want to call it that, on business owner lessons, mentoring directly to business owners. I guess some of these principles and lessons can be rolled into people who don't own businesses. You got to have a little bit more autonomy at your W-2 job to implement some of the things that we're doing. But I think there's a lot of similarities between running a business and running your household. So if you're not a business owner, just kind of keep listening, because the last episode was about keeping too much cash in your business. You could be doing the same thing in your personal life and not putting your cash to work. We did not mention that on the last episode, but I'll mention it on this one. Today's topic is about removing yourself from lower value roles to higher value roles and things that fire you up, so you don't minimize your returns and increase the odds of burnout. Burnout occurs when you're doing things that you're not fired up about, that are yielding smaller returns than if you were doing the things that you are fired up about that yield bigger returns. And so even if you're not a business owner, I will just throw this out there. This is the same thing as if you're someone that makes $250,000 a year, yet you're still mopping your floors at your house. This is an opportunity for you to learn how to outsource some of the things inside of your home to get a higher return on your time. So, Jeff, today, basically the topic is, why is it necessary for business owners to let go of lower value roles that do not earn them the higher return on their time, or fire them up?
Well, I mean, this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart because one of my mentors, Dan Martell, wrote an amazing book about this, about buy back your time. But what I think that most of the people that we've worked with or seen in the past who say they're business owners really just have jobs. They really just have the independence of working for themselves, but they have created and built themselves a job. And I think that after you do that for a few years, decades, you kind of learn some things, and you get opportunities to start over, kind of like you're doing in the gym space right now. And
Yes.
And you hopefully learn from your past, like, mistakes or misfortunes or mindset issues that you had. And ultimately, I don't want to own a job. And so if I'm going to build businesses or buy businesses or start businesses at this point, from my perspective, strategically, you have to have the ability to detach yourself from every single role within that business, to allow it to operate at its peak, obviously, but also not to be, this is what we talk about, like, don't build yourself a cage, as well. And so Martell's formula in that book is like, take what you're getting paid from your business and divide it by 2,000. And that's your actual hourly rate. And then what you should be able to do is pay somebody 1/4 of that and start offloading those tasks. So let's say if you get paid $40 an hour through your business, you would make a list of all the $10 an hour tasks that you're doing right now that you should be offloading. And that those are kind of the metrics that they use for it. But ultimately, if you want to build a business that's self-managing, you've got to be dogmatic in the identification of roles and what needs done to continue to build the business, and then also the delegation of it and passing off these roles. And I don't think people do a very good job on their initial businesses, usually because of, like, lack of knowledge, lack of experience, and lack of, like, trust in themselves. Like, I don't know what I'm doing as a marketing person or whatever you're saying to yourself. So how could you possibly manage someone to do the marketing for you? And, like, I think people get tripped over some of these, thinking that they need to know more than they really need to know to pass off the role to somebody that actually enjoys doing it.
Yeah. And to take one of Dan's quotes, I've seen him present 2 or 3 times now, in person and virtually. He's like, someone that does what you do 80% as good is 100% awesome. So I always like that. And the reason why, I didn't ask you why, but the reason why I think business owners fall in this trap, I think there's a couple of reasons. One, just the hustler mentality. You have to hustle, you have to be involved, you have to do this. And another one that I don't totally disagree with, but I think it does hold some people back, is like, if I ask someone else to clean the floors or clean the bathrooms, I should be able to do the same and show them that I'm willing to do the same. I get that. I get that. But I like how Dan frames the buy back your time quadrant. It's like the bottom left quadrant, the things that you delegate first are things that don't make you money and don't fire you up. And so let's say cleaning, for example, because in my first gym that I owned for 12 years, up until the last 12 months, I still was the only person in my business that knew how to operate the floor scrubber. Like, and I mentored gym owners for 4 years on how to remove themselves from cleaning. Now, I did not clean the bathrooms. I did not clean the welcome area. I didn't do that type of cleaning. I didn't clean the machines, but I cleaned the bulldog scrubber. And I think the reasons that I'm pulling out here for business owner are the reasons that I kept doing that. One, I wanted to show that I was willing to clean. Two, I didn't set aside the time to train someone. I could have taken literally 2 weeks of time to train someone on how to do that. But I told myself this story that like, well, there's so many intricacies about this. I have rolled flooring and they're not glued down. So when you go at this angle, it pulls up the floor, and I just don't want to deal with someone messing it up. And yeah, if it gets rolled up, then the chain on the squeegee breaks off, and then it pulls out the water hose, then water spills everywhere. Like but that kept me in the cleaning role for an extra few years. Like it's so ridiculous. And then lastly, it was, well, I'm gonna have to pay someone else to do this. No one else on my team like has a passion for cleaning. And so I finally outsourced it to a steam cleaning company where they came in every Monday at noon and steam cleaned. And it was like $125 every clean. So every month, that was 750 to 900 bucks, depending on how many Mondays there were that I was paying. And I was like, well, yeah, I could do it and I'll pocket that money. But once I finally outsourced it, it wasn't just 45 minutes of cleaning. It was 20 minutes of me driving to the gym, 10 minutes to set up the bulldog, 45 minutes of cleaning, 5 minutes to dump it, close the gym, drive back home. So that was an hour and a half, 2 hours of my day, nonetheless, of things that I wanted to get done. But I was starting to make a couple $100 per hour working and helping other people. So I was taking away from helping others to earn a couple $100 so I could save 125 bucks. But then divide that by 2 hours, because it actually took me 2 hours round trip to get to the gym and clean. Like I was doing a $65.50 task. And I didn't realize it until I outsourced it. So I think people, one, it's the hustler mentality that they just hold on to these things too long. I have to show my people I'm willing to do low value roles. Two, they want to earn that money themselves. Three, they don't recognize that they should go earn 4 times minimum what it costs them to pay someone to do that. But I like I like how Dan actually kind of straddles the financial strategy and lifestyle strategy just within the business ecosystem. If there are things that make you more money, and if there are things that fire you up, those are the things that you should slowly over the next 90 to 180 days strategically remove yourself from. And that's how you, one, maximize your returns, and two, avoid burnout.
I think people are scared of the growth that's necessary, because if you start paying somebody $125 an hour to do something that you were doing, that challenges your sensibilities, that you've got to go out and figure out a way to 2 to 4x that with that time. And a lot of people can't conceptualize what that might look like. And because but what it does signify is it signifies a change for you. Like you've got to become a different leader, a different person, a different business owner. Not necessarily to justify that, because I think that's the wrong word. But this is where people get super confused, because some people are real myopic in that, like, okay, if I'm going to pay $125, I got to go get $375 during that hour somehow. How can I do that? Instead of saying, oh, maybe I should just go read a book for an hour and a half, or I could do yoga for an hour and a half. And like, what's that's going to do is that's going to make me whatever, in a better mood. I'll be a better leader. I'll lead a better team meeting. I'll do a better sales call later that will then have those same effects over time. Like they get real, I guess, black and white about it. Like, what could I possibly do that's going to justify giving up $125 of expenses to then I'm supposed to go get $375 during that exact hour of time? And like, they just get wrapped around. Usually when you talk about to people about that, though, it's all their own head trash, right? And so I agree with you 100%. I think it needs to be done no matter what. If you're a driven person, you should be able to go find things that are going to fill that time and fill you up both.
Yeah. And over time, I don't want you to just be staying the same. So we're here to challenge entrepreneurs. I'm not here to tell entrepreneurs to like level out of your business. I think there's a very clean way to still be the leader and level up your leadership, level up your knowledge to scale and grow your business. But there are other areas that you need to become proficient at to grow what we're trying to do, which is your personal wealth inside and outside your business. And that plays on the last episode. So we won't go down that rabbit hole. But every minute that you're spending doing these lower value tasks are hindering your ability to fulfill your obligation to your team members, to grow the business, to maximize. Because part of, and like, maybe this is not naive of me, but maybe this is ignorant of me. I think it's good of me as a business owner. Is like, if I could grow the business through my own personal skill sets, my other people can reap the reward of that, even if they didn't really have a hand in some of the tasks that I'm doing. I need to maximize the returns for the business, and that will help accelerate the success of my team members. So I really want to emphasize that, specifically talking to the people that are married and or also have kids. You have an obligation to them to buy back some of your time, not just to fill it with business obligations. I don't want people to listen to this episode and assume that we mean every minute that you buy back, you need to fill it with another business activity. If you've reached some sort of level of success, regardless of how you define it, I think some of that time you buy back should be allocated to, one, yourself, your physical and mental health. Make sure you are adding that in. If you've listened to us, you've listened to us enough to know that we are not, we don't envy and we don't support the successful business owner who's shitty physically, emotionally, and in their marriage and in their parenthood. We don't support that. So you need to buy back some of the time to take care of yourself. You need to buy back some of that time to spend with your spouse, who more than likely sacrificed during your time of startup growth. I know, looking back as a newly married mid 20-year-old, my wife didn't get the best of me. And that leaked and fed into our first child, my daughter, not getting the best of me, because I thought I had to fill as much time as possible with business activities. So do not be mistaken. This is not only about leveling up and doing things that make you the most money inside of your business and fire you up about your business. It is about buying back some of your time so you can be the best version of yourself personally, the best version of yourself as a husband, and the best version of yourself as a father. And I'm speaking strictly to men here, but it goes the same for the women. Jeff.
Sure. I think in the order of hierarchy, it's you personally first. You have to take care of yourself first, then you have to take care of your family second, and then your business gets third. I mean, I think that's how it should be. And,
Yes.
and I think you should design your life to serve those things in that order. And that may sound selfish, like with you at top, but you got to take care of yourself first. And like, that's what we always talk about. You are the asset. Like, I can't be a good dad or a good husband if I'm not taking care of myself. And then, like, for the inner circle and the tactical empire, like, I know for a fact that if I'm not reading and I'm not learning and I'm not educating myself and like out doing things, having conversations with like business owners on theory and things like that, I can't serve that group well. I know from experience that I present at a lower level if I'm not constantly learning and I'm not constantly educating myself. If I'm not constantly reading, I show up differently to our weekly calls, to my presentations, to speaking engagements. I'm just not as good, and I don't pour into people the way that I would like to. And so I'm not serving them at a peak level if I'm not going down, following that order of hierarchy. Like, I need to take care, and everyone, human nature is that. Most people aren't able to get into an argument or disagreement with their spouse, go into work, and then show up at that day at optimal levels. And so, like, it really is necessary to like get your foundation straight, then get a business that can serve you and that you love doing, and that you can pour into those people with your skill set. So I love it, man. I think you made some very great points.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a scary thought for people, is putting themselves and their family first over their business, even though they may verbally articulate that's what they want and that's what they do. I've seen plenty of people whose actions, mine included, for a very long time, do the opposite of what I preached. So, if you didn't catch on to some tactical things to do there, I just kind of like summarize here. If you don't know what to do next, you have to literally take 7 days, 14 days and audit and write down every single thing that you do for that business and compartmentalize them into their own individual tasks, roles, and responsibilities. And you need to assign a dollar amount to those roles and tasks. Then you take how much money you made in the past 12 months, divide that by 2,000. All right. Everything that's a quarter of that, you need to remove, whatever that number is, whatever is a quarter of that, you need to remove from your plate in the next 90 days. Okay. That may be delegating that to someone internally or finding someone externally to do those things. It doesn't have to be an employee that comes in and cleans the bathrooms of your restaurant. It can be, there are plenty of cleaning companies that can do it a hell of a lot better than your, minimum wage teenage front desk worker, whoever it is that you're hiring. Okay. That's the tactical thing to do. And then you just keep removing yourself from the next lowest value role over the next 90, 180 days or 12 months. And a year from now, you'll have a lot more of your time back. You'll be focusing a lot more of your time on the higher value roles, making more money, and that fire you up. And you might find that lost love for your business. I've seen plenty of business owners, myself included, that have lost a little bit of that love and passion that they've had for that business. And it's because we have not leveled up the things that we're working on, and we've continued to hold things that we do not enjoy. And so if you wake up and you go to a place and you do things you don't enjoy, it's potentially the reason why you feel the way that you feel about your business. So we need you to do this. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your employees, and you owe it to your family to buy back your time. Jeff, that's all I had to say about this topic today.
Guys, go ahead and follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you can, and hit us up if you have any questions about any of this stuff. You definitely shouldn't be doing low value items within your business like we talked about. You deserve to spend more of your time doing things that you want to be doing no matter what. We're only here for a short time. Time is the only thing that we can't get more of. So everything else is fixable for the most part. So have a great week. Kick ass. Follow us on Facebook if you want to come into the Tactical Empire community. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.